Welcome back. You're still watching Perspective, and we're still talking to Tika and Effie. Indonesia, when you look at Indonesia as a society, when you're living in Jakarta, but still in Jakarta, there's a lot of cases where the pressure is so heavy on victims so that they don't actually report because their fear of being further offended or insulted, or their family even sometimes doesn't have the support of the family. How do you deal with that? That's a true thing, no?
That is a very, very true thing. It's one of the biggest problems that we have is women who experience violence, particularly sexual violence, don't speak out, don't report the crime because they experience further violence in the system when they do. And our culture still have a sort of a taboo towards anything sexual, even when it's non-consensual. Sometimes they blame it on the victim. So victim blaming and then a corrupt system, it's very, very hard for us to fight violence against women because of these factors.
Well, you would assume that it's only the tip of the iceberg when they say that the number of women that actually complain, even to the law. But what are you going to do for that, except referring people?
I myself have been
you had experience.
Yes, with a victim of sexual violence. I went through every process with her from the beginning to the end, and then after that, it was quite public because the case was the rape that happened in a Transjakarta bus.
Oh, really?
Yes. And
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. She came to us because of 1 Billion Rising, because she found out about us and didn't know where to go. And she contacted me via Twitter, and since then we've been going through the process together until the end. It didn't end very well because the culprits only get about 1 year cut with a few months. So yeah, a few months in prison, a slap in the wrist basically. So that's what happens. The legal system is very, very unfair towards victims of sexual violence, women against women, and the media sometimes.
Then you should dance at the parliament. Get them to do some law. No?
As if that ever worked. So yeah.
Yeah, it's I can actually imagine that people wouldn't be very encouraged to go open, not only because they don't know, but also it falls back on them basically.
Yes. And by doing 1 Billion Rising, one of the message is that because if we keep going in this mind frame, if I open up, say I'm a victim, if I open up, then I'll be a victim in the process of opening up. If we keep going on this direction, then this will never stop. We need to start speaking up. We need to start sticking up for each other. So. This is not just a call for a fight back, but this is also a solidarity
call. It is a call for fight.
Yeah, it is. Not just that, though. It is a solidarity call because it is less scary for women who experience violence to come out and fight if they know that there are other people who's going through the same thing.
In your 2 years or 3 years, almost 3 years that you're there, besides of this girl who got violated in the busway in the Transjakarta. Are there many cases similar to that who came up to you and asked, what should I do, and things like that?
Yeah, and we individually go help each one, but we are not equipped with legally, and we're not equipped with the skills to.
That comes back.
Yeah. That
comes back to the question: why are you keeping it just as a movement and not like formalize it in an organization with a structure where you can?
We would love to, but we don't have the capacity for that right now. In the long run, we hope that that is the direction some of us are going, because the volunteers in this movement are also thinking about doing a more concrete solution for this. But for 1 Billion Rising itself, this is a campaign. We're not taking it in directions that are diverting from the original campaign. But individually, as a volunteer, we would love to go to that direction someday.
Because one other aspect of violence, again, whether it's against women, no matter what the gender is, it's like, one is the post-trauma, what you call it?
Yes.
And sometimes this is most severe in that case. And
yes.
I was asking, like, is there any organization in Indonesia that deals with it, that gives you, you know, if you're a victim of abuse, whether it's sexual or violence, and then in terms of counseling, for example?
There's bully.
Bully?
Pulih.
Yayasan
Pulih.
Pulih.
Or Pulih?
Yeah, there are some. Yeah,
There
the
are
organizations that handle with post-traumatic stress.
Specifically for genders?
trauma.
It's specifically gender-oriented or not?
Specific, yes. We don't have many. We have way more victims than any organization that we have right now can handle.
Right. One aspect of one segment of the victims that are usually suffering from violence, whether sexual or pure violence, is the workers, the house worker, the maids,
Yes.
even factory
Yes.
workers, and that's
Yes.
a lot.
We had
What
a
are you
discussion
doing in
about
that sense?
Yeah, our first discussion was about violence against women that happens in to labor.
Right.
Yeah, that is actually another. If we can go very, very deep
Aren't you
towards
going,
this.
for example, you're going to let's hold a dance at the factory or whatever?
Wasn't that the plan? We go to the.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was. No, I was asking her. But there were some issues that we couldn't do it. But that was actually the initial plan, was for us to go to the factories and or the organization, Buruh organization, to do a movement with them. But we're also, Effie got a call from Organisasi Buruh Migran and migrant workers in Hong Kong last night, and they're always rising every year. It's a massive movement, mostly Indonesian migrant workers there.
Causeway.
Yeah. So
The only place abroad where you can hear Japanese being spoken.
really. Yeah.
But so, you have a call from Hong Kong, and what happens then?
It was an interview, wasn't it?
It's an interview.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interview.
The interview that in Hong Kong also rising for 1 billion rising.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
What I mean is, are you doing in this campaign of yours is are you giving focus on migrant workers, because that's where the
Our focus this year is public transportation.
public transportation.
It's because
trains.
the case
But
of
isn't it solved now? Do you have special wagons or
No, not
cars?
solved.
And,
No, so many sexual violence still happening in public transportation. Women don't feel safe about going in public transportation. Yeah.
No, but is it like, I don't know. I'm not aware of that, so to speak.
Well, the thing is, we just had the discussion the other day about violence that happens in public transportation. There was a group of women, about 15 women. Some of them who are wearing hijabs down to their thighs are still getting violated in transportations. Yeah. I mean, there are sections just for women, but I think that's more of a shield and not really a solution. It's not like, it's like going to women going out in public, going in public transportation is like going into a battlefield. We have to always be aware who's sitting next to us.
Wear an armor.
Yeah, and having a women-only car or a women's only section is like putting on an armor. It's not putting a stop to the war, you know, because we go out there and we are basically in danger every day because we are a woman, no other reason. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk more about it. We have to break again. Please stay with us.